All right, welcome to the brand new presentation, Azure Subscription. We're going to talk about what subscription in Azure is. So, as soon as you've gotten started with your Azure uh, trial account or whatever account you have gotten in your company, you're going to hear a lot that please create these resources into this subscription or create these mini subscription. You belong to these subscription. I have given you access to this particular subscription. What is a subscription? It's a logical separation to keep your resources. What are resources? Resources could be anything, could be virtual machine networks, Databricks clusters, a Kubernetes cluster, virtual machine, web apps, and all of that. To have that governance policy, to have the logical separation, you create different subscription in your organization. Now, to govern the users in a company, you need billing bifurcation. You need account bifurcation. For different users, you would have different role-based access control, which means you as a business analyst or a product owner or a tech lead might have a different permission onto a subscription, and a developer or an administrator might have an elevated permission because they need more granular access. How do you control that into subscription? You control that using the role-based access control. You got to create different boundaries also, right? Because if you're a team of 20 people, organization of thousands of people into your organization, you need to create boundary in terms of usage and billing. How much usage can a team do in terms of how much machine they can spin up, how many Kubernetes clusters they can run, how much they can spend. Probably finance or HR team who are kind of back-end team and not generating a lot of revenue, you have created a billing threshold, a limit onto their spending, maybe 2,000 euros a month, compared to product team or data science team, which is directly generating sales for you. You have created 10,000 euros for them because they're going to create a lot of resources. They're going to test a lot of development features onto those resources which you have created. So there it has to be certain boundaries between these teams, right? How do you create it? You create it using billing. You create it using subscription. One subscription, one boundary, second subscription, second boundary, and likewise. If you want to create different virtual networks, different virtual network rules for different subscription, different team, different geographical location, you create different subscription to achieve that. And all of these are attached with Azure Active Directory, wherein you control all of the permissions and everything. So what is a subscription? Subscription is a logical separation into Azure which groups together user counts, resources like so virtual machine, IP address, networks, databases, and whatnot, created by either you, a non-tech user, or developer, or a DevOps, or an administrator. There are a bunch of limitation also which we're going to talk about, but let's try to look at graphically how once you've created, you as an user, you've created the account, maybe a $200 free account, or you have gotten an account from your company. Once you have logged into portal.azure.com, what you see is you see only one subscription. However, you see different subscription. When do you see that? Either there's no perfect recipe to how many subscription you can create. There's no perfect best practices how many subscription you should have. Either you can have different subscription for different clients, different teams, different environments. In this particular example, there are three applications which we are creating, application 1, 2, and 3. For application 1, we have defined three different subscription because we want a development, staging, and production subscription for application 1. For application 2, we need only one subscription, that is subscription 4. So we name it as a development subscription. For application 3, we need three different subscription again, 5, 6, and 7. So what I'm trying to say over here is you could have different subscription, as many as subscription as you want. So you got to decide whether you want to create a subscription for basis on different clients. So if you are onboarding different clients onto Azure, are you dividing the subscription basis on those clients, or you're dividing basis on your environment, or you're dividing basis on your application? You're going to decide on your own, but the whole point is you could just manage your application with different set of subscription, logically separated, all the resources into subscription one kind of not connect with other subscription until unless there are hard rules which needs to be created. There are certain features which you could achieve. There could be connection made, but out of the box, resources in subscription 1 cannot connect with subscription 2. All right, I hope this is clear by now. If you move on to the subscription management, there are 50 scenarios or jargons which you're gonna hear a lot. I'm just gonna run you through what are these service manager role, which means somebody asks you which subscription do you want to get added, or what permission should I give you. Either you could have an account administrator, service administrator, or co-administrator. All of these are high evaluated permission, which means if you get one of these permission, you can manage a lot of things into your subscription. You can delete certain resources, you can add certain resources and whatnot. You could also manage the access using the role resource manager roles. We're going to talk about it later. Account types, how many types of account you could have. Either you could use the personal account, like I'm going to use, or you could use the organization account. So you're working for ABC company, you're going to have your name at the rate XYZ, your name of the company.com. All right, and it can be fully integrated with Azure Active Directory, obviously, because that's how you're going to add users. Azure Active Directory is where you're going to add all the users, and that can be integrated with your Microsoft fleet of application, Office 365, Intune, CRM, and whatnot. As a partner, you could also manage somebody else's subscription also. So on the behalf of as a partners, I'm going to show you how you could just manage somebody else's subscription as a partner. All right. So what is a role-based access control? On the left-hand side, you see a definition. What is role-based? On the right-hand side, you see certain groups which are already created. Now if you want to get added to a subscription, either you could get added as an owner, a contributor, reader. As you go down, you're narrowing down the permission. Owner has got all the permissions. You could just click on the owner and start adding yourself, so that you have the full leverage, full permission to a subscription. Contributor is one step below. Reader is you should be able to read so reader permission, and then you've got API management and all of that. So what point is over here is you don't have to create these groups with your own hand. You already have these groups created for you once you have got your first subscription created. However, on top of it, if you want to create custom role or groups, you could always do that. There's no limitation on that. By default, if you're just trying some hands-on to Azure groups for managing your subscription, you could just start getting yourself added onto these particular groups. So this is how your top level hierarchy is. You have your first subscription first, and then all of the subscription would have multiple resource group, and underneath each resource group you would have different resources. Like resources could be anything: database, virtual machine, clusters, networking, VPN tunnels, load balancer, and whatnot. So that was it about the role-based access control. What I'm gonna do is I am gonna have a demo right now in a couple of minutes, where I'm gonna show you what subscription is and how you could just manage different subscription for different teams. I hope this was informative. I will see you in a while. Thank you.